Thursday Night Football, Thursday, 8 p.m. on NFL Network, on Fox, and streaming on Prime Video. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our show. It's called GMFB, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. We're feeling good here on a Wednesday. My name's Kay Adams, Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, Michael Robinson.
Peace.
Hanging out with us all week long. We love that because we're going to put you to good use.
Let's get it.
Conversations
I'm ready.
with the lead block.
Lead block.
Let's do it. The Chargers, they came away with a big win over the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Bright lights is where this kid shines, and now there is a three-way tie at the top of the AFC West. For the latest from around that division, let's send it over to our very own Jeffrey Chadia. Hey, Jeff.
Thanks, Kay. And the AFC West has always been talked about as a division that would be very interesting if the Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers could play at the same level as the Chiefs. Well, now we're seeing that be the case. You saw the Chargers with that big win on Monday night over the Raiders, and quarterback Justin Herbert continues to play at a very high level, and Brandon Staley, their new head coach, has that team firing on all cylinders. The Raiders, even with that first loss, shouldn't be dismissed now because Derek Carr, their quarterback's playing at an MVP level, and they brought in some great veterans to bring leadership, guys like Casey Hayward, Yannick Ngakoue, and KJ Wright. And the Broncos, even with their injury issues, should be a tougher team once they start getting healthy. And so, look, the Chiefs still have great things going for them with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and they have won this division 5 years in a row. But they have a lot of issues on defense. And if you're going to win the AFC West, you better be a complete team this year. And now back to you, Kay.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for the updates all around. It seems like this division's up for the grabs. The Chargers dealing with a short week. The Browns coming to SoFi on Sunday. What a game that'll be. The game of the week, I think. Both teams 3-1, both trying to say, hey, we're AFC contenders, people. We're the real deal here in 2021. What ultimately decides this Browns-Chargers matchup in Week 5? Talk Baker to me.
I will a little bit, but I'm going to talk about this two-headed monster at running back that the Browns have right now. And I got this full screen I want to show you guys because that's literally the only part of the Chargers' defensive game that they're lacking. I mean, look what they're ranked at rushing yards allowed per game. 29th, they're close to the bottom. Everything else pretty much matches up. But the Cleveland Browns, they run the football. They average 177 rushing yards a game, man. Like, that is old school ball. That's bully ball, and that's how they want to play. Kareem Hunt, leads this team in receptions, which I don't necessarily like that. They got to get Odell Beckham the ball a little bit more. But when you're running the football like this, defenses are going to react. They're going to put 8 guys in the box, and it makes throwing the football downfield a little bit easier. When you look at Baker Mayfield, I'm not so sure that he can win games exclusively on his arm, right? We have quarterbacks in this league that can do that can manipulate the defense without having to have play action. Sure. But that's not Baker Mayfield. No. Baker Mayfield, 71% completion on play action, 63% completion, 2 interceptions without play action. You have to make it a running game, and the Chargers, they have to put this game squarely in Baker Mayfield's
What if I were to tell you that a team that just won 3 straight games, including a big win on the road, would have their quarterback say immediately after the game, today, I don't know what the hell that was. I was piss poor. That's Baker Mayfield. That's what he said after the game, in which they win on the road against the Vikings, and he was right. Baker's not great right now, and he refuses to acknowledge that it has to do with his non-throwing shoulder, which I credit him for. But if you didn't watch this game, it was a bizarre 14-7 game, and it doesn't sound bizarre, it was. Especially the Baker to Odell deal. That's Odell up top. Baker just off. And there was about 5 of them where they're trying to get this connection going. That's another one that's behind him. And then the worst one of all is going to be from left to right. This is a 3rd down. Watch how open Odell is here. Wide open. Baker's deal, guys, above anything, is accuracy in the draft. If you ask him, I can't do what Lamar does. Maybe I can't do what Josh does. But, man, I am accurate. He wasn't. He was off. He seems a little bit in his head. And this Odell Baker thing is weird because we remember when Odell first came over and there was concerns about Baker's forcing it to him. Stefanski saying we got to get the ball to Odell early or weird things psychologically happen. 14-7 win and Baker say I don't know what the hell that was. You have to have a huge comeback game because the defense is amazing. The run game's amazing. Baker's not been great.
To your point, Baker in college, the 2 best completion percentage seasons in the history of college football. And now he can't complete passes in big spots. And now the progressive commercials seem to be more and more. It seems like we're seeing him all. It's that whole thing happening again.
You're
now.
right. They hit differently, don't they?
Unfortunately, I don't know if anyone else is watching. They They have the best defense in the league. Like, this defense is unbelievable. So I think that's the key factor here. I think this defense, let's see if they're for real. The last 2 games, look at these numbers here. Vikings were scoring on everyone. They ran it up the score on the Seahawks. They put up a lot of points on the Cardinals. They play the Browns last week. We're going to hold you to 7 in your own building.
Cousins got crushed.
Crushed. Bears, they won a game. They were feeling good. Let's go to the field. No, you're not going to do anything here. And the defense hasn't just been this guy, Myles Garrett. We're seeing huge production.
Every level.
From Malik McDowell, who no one expected from Malik Jackson, who no one really expected.
Okay.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has been starting the past 2 weeks. Not coincidentally, no one's scoring any points. The guy has been a heat-seeking missile. This Browns defense has been so good, suffocating other teams. So as the Chargers are feeling good about Justin Herbert and what they've got going on, if the Browns defense shows up to SoFi like they did the last 2 weeks, playing the Bears and playing the Vikings, I don't even know if the Chargers offense and Joe Lombardi, what he wants to do, can even get going. They've been that dominant. And right now, I think Myles Garrett's the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes,
he has been unblockable. And he's got a bunch of guys around him that are doing the same thing. So Browns defense, we don't talk about it too often.
Pretty cool.
They can bail out Baker if he doesn't have his best game.
Who picked Myles Garrett as defensive? Was that you? Yeah, that was
I also did the year before.
Really?
I'm going to do it every year.
You say, if you're the Chargers, stop the run and make it a bait. It's basically, Baker, this has to be your game to get this done. You're pointing out his deficiencies. I'd love to know, Schrager, just what do we think of Baker? This is maybe not even in this game, but probably in this game. It's going to come down to being on his shoulders, which they don't ask him to do very often. They lean on that run game so much. They're 24th in the league. Passing right now, they were 22nd, I believe, all of last season. They don't ask him, but at some point, especially if you want us to think that you're a contender,
he's going to have to win.
He's going to have to. So, I look at last year's playoff game against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes left for a little bit. He was in there. He had the ball in his hand. Could not get it done. Maybe Odell needed to be out there. Maybe they needed somebody who could get the ball.
I mean, with Kyle just showing it, it looked like he could.
But he
could hit Odell.
And then week 1, with the chance to win the game, Baker Mayfield could not put it all over his shoulders. Week 1, out the gate, with all of that pent-up stuff from that loss to the Chiefs, couldn't get it done against the Chiefs again. So to me, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Packers, and I stood up there and I said, the only problem is I just don't see him winning the game for any team in those moments, and those moments are going to come. They might come against the Chargers.
I know. The dark secret, I think, going on right now is he's not right. Baker tried to make a tackle a couple weeks ago and popped his shoulder out. It's ironic that you say it's on his shoulders. I think he is in, and they're asking, Baker, how's his shoulder? He's like, it's in, it's fine, next question. Doesn't want to have it, which I credit, but I don't think he's right.
He's never showed us that he can do it.
And I don't think he's going to do it now either. But I think he's banged up.
We need to understand, there's probably only 8 guys walking this planet that can just constantly win games with their arm.
Yeah.
And we just need to kind of understand that when we're talking about quarterbacks. Most quarterbacks are system guys. They need the system to be successful.
Questions, concerns?
Yeah, Baker, we always bring up Lamar, and can he get over the hump? Lamar won the playoff game last year with his arm, made the big play, and Lamar went out and beat Kansas City this year, and it's like Baker's the same draft class, and he hasn't had to do that because of all the running game and the great play that they've gotten from other aspects of the game, but at some point, he's going up against Justin Herbert right now. This is going to be 2 of the young
so true.
Are you in that Herbert conversation? Are you in that conversation with Herbert and Josh Allen and all, or are you that next tier? And if he can come out there and Baker, and I don't think they expect him to throw for 350 yards against them, but to will his team to victory would be a major statement, especially for those who are doubting whether he is in that class.
Peter, do you think the Browns front office?
No, I think they know.
You think they know his limits?
But his contract is up, and he's going to want that money.
He's going to want the money, and he's warranted $40 million. Do you think they look at how he's playing? You think this is a benchmark game maybe for Baker to kind of show them, look, I'm the guy you need to pay?
Josh Allen got that huge deal. I think everyone's looking at Lamar. What's he going to get? What's Baker going to get? If you
Great question.
beat this guy, and you win a playoff game, and you win a Super Bowl, and you keep, you could put the argument together that he's worthy of that money, but
it's tough because they might keep winning, and he doesn't play great, well. And they're like, we're in that purgatory. It's tricky.
That's the thing.
At GMFB, I mean, even in his own division, I'm looking at Joe Burrow. If I'm on his shoulders, what he did on Thursday Night Football,
fellow #1 pick
against the Jacksonville Jags, you can say what you want about that, but they were down big, came up big, and won that game. Who do you trust in a big moment? It's a tough one, tough sell for me to Baker because I haven't seen it. And maybe it's because they don't put him in those situations, but I've seen him in those situations twice against the same Chiefs team, and he could not do anything.
They don't put him in those situations because they know.
Baker did go to Pittsburgh and destroy the Steelers in the playoffs. That was a great night for him. But we haven't seen that guy yet. At
GMFB, with your thoughts, Browns fans, I have you going to the Super Bowl. Hopefully Baker can get you there on his bum shoulder. His shoulder's fine.
Yeah.
That's what Kyle says. Let's ask Ian Rappaport about some other things. Ian, we got a surprise move out of Dallas. This happened last night. I follow Jane Slater, so I'm kind of privy to what's going on, but give us all the details about Jalen Smith.
Yeah, for Jalen Smith, one of the faces of this defense a couple years ago for Dallas, and really someone with a big contract that the Cowboys tried several times in the offseason to shed. They tried to trade Jalen Smith, were willing to take on basically the entire salary just to rid the defense of him, just basically because they loaded up at the position. He was going to be the odd man out. Couldn't do it. And then last night officially informed Jalen Smith that he was going to be released. A little bit of a surprise because he's a big name, but just based on play, not a surprise at all. The Cowboys do eat $7.2 million of fully guaranteed salary this year. That is not good, but they rid themselves of $9.2 million of injury guarantees next year. Basically what that means is because they cut him, they don't have to risk him getting injured than having him be on the books next year. His playing time was dwindling. He was not going to start. Sounds like Leighton Vander Esch and Keanu Neal were going to be the two main linebackers who are going to stay on the field the entire time. This deal, this move should be official 4 p.m. today, and then Jalen Smith will likely sign with another team.
We will be tracking that, Ian. In the meantime, we have a very likable, very vocal fan base that watches the show in Jacksonville, Jags fans. And yet here we are 5 weeks into this very exciting new era with Urban Meyer, and it's off to a terrible start. What's the latest? What's going on?
Yeah, I think that about sums it up. Really, everything bad you could possibly have wanted to happen in Jacksonville has literally happened, and probably worse. On the field, it's been bad. Off the field, with Coach Urban Meyer, it has been probably worse. Of course, we all know by now the viral video that popped up this weekend of Meyer in a Columbus bar dancing with a young woman who is not his wife, whatever else went on there. And then yesterday, we get a harshly worded statement from owner Shad Khan saying he has addressed the issue with Urban Meyer, who did not fly home with the team, just stayed in Columbus to see his grandkids and all the other activities. Khan called it inexcusable. He said Meyer expressed sincere remorse and also said Urban Meyer must earn the trust and respect back from this team. He was confident he would do so. And then Meyer went on his local radio show yesterday and addressed the situation, talked about how horrible the conversations were with Khan, and then said the question was, will the team be ready? And he essentially said, that's not in my court. That's really up to the players, which was also kind of interesting. Obviously, this one we will